Well, good morning, everyone. I've just arrived here at QA Hospital in Portsmouth for my first radiotherapy treatment. It's 9 o'clock and my slot is in 40 minutes time. So I'm just on time, and I'll explain why, because you have to get here about half an hour before your first treatment. So when I get home, I'll tell you more about it. So today's episode is mainly about my radiotherapy treatment, to be exact, high beam radiotherapy. The idea is I'm going to talk to you about what this involves, the technology involved, and the beginning of my treatment. I'm told there are a number of side effects, but I'll cover those at a later time. This has been my first week having the treatment, and therefore I'll wait till towards the end. Here we are. This is a video of me actually on the machine this morning, and as you can see, it's a very expensive looking piece of kit. Not only that, there is a team of 5 people looking after it. So the machine costs over £1 million. Obviously the setting, the room, the control room, everything else that goes with it costs a lot of money, and a team of 5. So those people every day will be looking after me and other people going through high beam radiotherapy. So first of all, I thought I'd just talk a bit about the technology involved. And then secondly, I'd talk about my treatment so far, some hints and tips on how to deal with it all, how to prepare yourself, because it's very important that your bladder and your bowels are in the right state to minimise any possible collateral damage. And that takes a bit of time to get right. And it involves drinking, for example, over 2 litres of water a day, giving up too many stimulants like alcohol, caffeine, etc. And being careful about what you eat, minimising the amount of gas that your body produces and puts into the bowels. And also making sure that you are regular because you need to obviously get rid of as much of your stools as possible before you go in every day for treatment. So there's a lot involved, but there are some hints and tips that will help. And there's some of the things I'm going to cover. As I've said, one of the reasons I'm doing this is a couple of my good friends have been through the same thing and gave me lots of advice, telling me what was going to happen, what the options are, what to watch out for, and things to be careful about. So let's get underway. And here we are with me on the bench, as it were, having my radiotherapy treatment today. Right, so today I thought the first thing we do is talk about the technology behind this marvellous equipment. If you think about it, even 20 years ago, this sort of machine was just not available. But these allow us to be much more accurate. The machine I was on can be work within just 1 millimetre of accuracy, meaning it can get exactly to the right point and minimise the collateral damage. So first of all, a little detail on the technology, and rather than try and explain it myself, I thought I'd use part of one of the company's videos which goes into more detail.
Radio frequency waves are pulsed into the waveguide by the magnetron. This is synchronized with the injection of electrons into the waveguide by the electron gun. The radio frequency waves accelerate the electrons along the waveguide to a speed approaching the speed of light. The X-ray beam is created when the electrons hit and interact with a tungsten target at the opposite end. The electrons are accelerated along the waveguide toward the target. The waveguide contains a series of copper cells. Small holes, or irises, between these copper cells allow the electrons to travel along the waveguide and help to focus the beam. The path of the negatively charged electron beam is controlled by 2 sets of quadrupole magnets, called steering coils, that surround the waveguide. An additional 2 sets of focusing coils help to further define the electron beam so that it is very fine, with a diameter similar to that of a pinhead when it hits the target.
Right, so what I thought to do next is run through the whole process of arrival and through to treatment. So you should arrive at the hospital about 40 minutes or so before your appointed time. When you arrive, I've so far learnt to go straight to the toilet, because drinking so much water every day, you are inclined to feel the need frequently. So what I do is empty my bladder, then go in and check if the machine is on time. Now this you can see here on the board. It shows each of the linear accelerators and whether they are on time or there's been a slight delay, perhaps caused by calibration or just checking all the systems are working. I then, if it's on time, I'll go to reception and check in. This should be about 30 minutes before your appointment slot. I then go to the water machine, fill up my half-litre bottle of water and start drinking. You should drink the water in 10 minutes. So at minus 30 minutes, start drinking water. At minus 20 minutes, you should have drunk all the water and could start waiting for it to come through into your bladder. Normally at about this stage, you'd be called forward by one of the nurses to go through to the forward area close to the machine that you'll be on that day. And this is that waiting area. You'll be there for about 15 minutes or so. They'll come and make sure you're okay and that they've got the correct details. You're asked when you were born on a number of occasions, always double checking to make sure they got the right person. Then about 5 minutes before your treatment time, you'll be taken into an area where they'll check your bladder using ultrasound to see how full it is. And it should be full to just the right amount, which is about 180 millilitres or so. They'll check that's okay. If not, they'll delay for a few minutes until it is percolated through into the bladder. And then when it's ready, they'll take you forward into the actual room itself, where you will be going on the machine. At that stage, the radiographer will come in, explain all the details to you, get you lying down comfortably, and then start shifting your position to make sure that the tattoo marks that you have on your body line up with the laser lights, which you can see projected from the side of the room. At this stage, a helpful tip is to make sure that you don't do anything at all. You let the radiologist do all the moving, because it's a very fine tuning, trying to get you exactly right within a millimetre of the correct position, so that every day there is a consistency in the targeting. And that's another reason why your bladder and bowel have to be in exactly the right condition, because being so close to your prostate, they will affect the position of the tumour. So they want it to be exactly the same every day. When your treatment's over, the first thing you do is rush off to the toilet, because by then you're desperate for a pee, and you're finished for the day. And that's the same every day for 4 weeks. Now, I'll talk more about this and some of the side effects as they come in later on. So for a week or so, I'll just carry on with this and you'll have to wait for the next video. So until next time, hope you've enjoyed it. If not enjoyed, at least give you some helpful tips if you're going through this whole process yourself. So see you in a week or so.